Dude, I got to tell you, I'm in love with that new intro,
I was
Chris. You
gonna
did
say
a great job.
I got to admit I like it better than the old one.
Yep, you did a great job, man. I got to start out by saying that. That intro every time it plays, I just love it, man.
That was pretty slick. I did like that.
Thanks.
So a few things real quick. One, don't forget, fat guys hunt too. Don't let no one tell you different. Okay? Just because we fat don't mean we don't have a life too and enjoy the outdoors.
No, you want the meat more than the rest of us.
There you got her, brother. You got it. See, there's somebody that understands. Tonight we have a special guest, which is Justin, right? I did
Yeah.
get your first name right. Justin from the Plague Doctor Outdoors
And KSO.
and KSO. So he's got a couple things going for himself. One is
I gotta straighten you real quick. KSO is actually what we started out as when I first started my social media pages.
Yeah.
And then when I actually filed my LLC and made it legal, it became PDO. I just didn't go by that because I didn't want to go to file my LLC and somebody be like, "Ooh, that's a cool name. I'm gonna take it."
I
Nice.
got you. I got you. Well, the good news is you can call yourself whatever name you want with us. We don't care.
I call myself whatever you boys want me to.
Yeah, it don't. We're easy to get along with, man. It don't matter to us. But he's joining us tonight, and we're super excited to have him. Jim from the Chubby Buck, I think, is going to pop in here at some point. I did try to ring him and text him. He might. I don't know what's going on there. I know when his wife's around, he shoots a lot better. Maybe he's at the match and shooting better or something. I don't know, man. She's like his lucky charm. I know that. So,
No, that is.
but tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what you guys do here at the Plague Doctor Outdoors.
Well, it's me and my wife. We're basically just Christian husband and wife team, and I got back into hunting real big about 10 years ago. I got sick. I got diagnosed with cancer, and I needed something to keep me busy. The doctor told me not to change anything, stay active, don't just sit and dwell. So my wife, being a good country girl, she's like, "Well, let's get back into hunting, see if that's something you can do, keep you active." So started hunting real hard, and I don't know, man. I fell in love with deer hunting, like not like way beyond like I did when I was a kid, and it just became a hardcore passion of mine. And then over the last 10 years, yeah, I went through my chemo and everything, got good, and it's been 10 years since I was sick, and I've just never let off of it. I use all my vacation for hunting, and
Same.
my wife actually actively tells people, when they try to plan stuff, she's like, I'll come, the daughter will come, but Justin's not going to be there. If he's not on the clock, sorry. If he's not on the clock, he's in the tree stand. Like, that's just how it is. And I started, a little over 5 years ago. I started messing with minerals and whatnot because I couldn't find a mineral, one, that had deer constantly coming in and feeding off of it, and two, that the coons didn't walk off with. So I started messing around with that and playing with it on the property I hunt, and 4 years in, I got it to a point where I really like the results I'm getting and the numbers and how it works. So me and the wife talked about it, and we decided that February of this year was time to launch my business and start making mineral for everybody else and make something out of it. And so I've been doing that and consulting on a few properties. That's not a monetary thing. The properties I hunt are actual cattle farms that they were having deer issues, and they asked me to come in and see if I could help them out. So I did, and I ended up they just kind of were like, "Well, you hunt my property." And so I got around 300 acres that I ride my quad to and manage their properties for them. And I knocked down, I think the guy who owns the property says he was losing about a quarter of his feed corn a year. And on his property that's just by my house, I knocked that down to almost not even noticeable. So he had me, as of this year, start hunting his main farm up on the hill. And I gotta tell you, I've never seen deer eradicate feed corn like I seen on that place when I went up there. He lost an entire field of corn the year previous to the deer, And by the time he called me this past season, when I got out there, half of the field was already gone. And I walked it. First time I walked this property, I kicked 40 deer, 8 of which were a nice buck. And I started focusing in heavy on that, and I got it all cordoned off and cammed up, and then turning and putting mineral at. And the pictures I'm getting the bucks this year are real nice. And I sent you some pictures of the
Yep,
bucks.
Chris has those to share. I sent them to him it was last week.
But yeah, they're sprouting up really nice. They've been eating real well.
So let's. I know one of the things we really want to cover for you, because it's a new business for you, is your mineral, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we
that's
can
my
do
thing.
multiple shows, but I know one thing tonight when I talked to you before that I thought it was good to help you out was we can get on your mineral topic a little bit. So let's go with where you're from. Where are you from?
I am from an area called Curlsville. It's in southern Clarion County in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Now, do they allow baiting there?
No, we're in Pennsylvania. They don't allow baiting
Right. I
anywhere.
just want to make sure everybody understands that because we're not. So you're talking feeding off season
Yes.
and the time it is allowable. And now you're talking you make a mineral. Tell me more about your mineral. What is your mineral?
Our
You don't
mineral,
have to give me percentages. I understand that. What's the object behind your mineral?
our mineral is the best way I can describe it is a general overall herd health. So it's got stuff in it like selenium, phosphorus, all that to help. Not it helps grow antlers, but it's more focused on the muscular, skeletal, immune system, the does weaning healthy fawns, the fawns growing healthy. So you get a larger bodied, healthier herd, less disease. Especially where I'm at in Clarion County, we have some of the highest deer population numbers in the state. And it's only a matter of time and I'm going to offend some people, that these guys that go out and they shoot their buck, and that's it. He's got that. I sent him a picture, honey. My wife's handing me mineral bags around a corner. um, these guys that shoot, they go out, they shoot their buck, and that's it. They're done for the season. Well, they don't get the fact that at some point EHD or something else is going to come ripping through that property, and it's going to wipe out your herd. It's going to kill everything. If you don't do your proper deer management and your proper herd management, them bucks aren't going to last. So I focus on health and immunity, and I take as many deer as legally as I'm allowed to. Last year I took my buck and I took 11 doe.
So where are you coming up with your measurements? So one thing I noticed in your bag, and Chris just blew it up there so I could see it real well, is there ain't a whole lot of corn in that bag.
There ain't no corn in that bag.
Yeah, that's what I seen. So I didn't see any corn that I could see in the bag at all. I might have thought that there, the top left might have had a kernel in it, and the top right might have been a kernel. So I went with minimal.
No, if there is, it's leftovers from whatever they grind their oats and everything in. My mineral is obviously mineral supplements, and then the only thing in it that's not a mineral is a oat feed. So it's just something to give the deer something to chew on to keep them around.
And when you talk overall deer herd, it's better for the overall deer herd. Yes, it helps horn growth, but we're talking overall deer herd. Tell me where you came up with those facts and numbers to make this product.
Research. Everything from Mississippi State University's research to Google to anywhere I could find information. I have a buddy that's in the mineral business, which I didn't get permission to name drop him, so I'm not going to. But that's how he makes his living. And then I have a couple of friends that I've talked to over the years that actually own deer farms. So they make mineral for their moneymaker deer. And I started with a basis and started making mixes and whatnot and adjusted it until I got the levels that I wanted and the results that I wanted, where I have deer consistently every morning, every evening coming in. I actually have hundreds of pictures of, I put out 5 different store-bought minerals, none of which I'm going to mention, obviously. And I put them on one side, and I put my mineral on the left side, and I put a trail camera up. I have hundreds of pictures over 2 weeks of deer grazing my mineral and walking past those other piles, and they didn't touch those piles until our mineral was eaten clean. I just went up today, worked on a food plot, and you've probably seen the post.
Yep.
And there's a stump, one of our mineral sites, where they have a 1.5 foot hole dug down under the stump. We're digging at that mineral. Like they just go crazy over it.
So here's a question I have for you in minerals. So listen, I'm huge for minerals. I think minerals. I honestly, I think they should be allowed all year round. I'm not gonna lie. That's what I think. I think, in especially places where the deer are populated heavy, why not? Right? Private
Yeah.
farms, sectors. Why not? What does it matter? Right?
Well,
Just
it's one
my
of the
opinion.
things, like,
Just my opinion.
why can I hunt over a standing cornfield, but I can't hunt over mineral?
I will always argue that somehow they tell me a deer doesn't get any of these diseases eating off the same corn cob and they do a corn pile. You know, it blows my mind. But anyway,
Yeah.
I don't get paid millions to make the stupid decisions, so whatever.
Oh,
But one thing with minerals here in Pennsylvania is you are allowed to put them out. It is legal on your down times of the season, right?
yep.
But if any mineral remnants is left in the soil, so they will come check it and they will literally dig
Yep.
up. The game wardens will dig up a hole and check to see if there's any mineral left inside that ground. And if they find any trace of mineral, it's illegal.
Yeah.
How do you confirm that don't have 'em?
You put it in spots where you don't have your stands. Like my mineral sites, my food plot, or to keep the deer, to head them off before the corn. So it's at the opposite end of the property from my stands.
Okay, so you're hundreds and hundreds of yards out.
Around, I think the last time I walked it at, I was 483 yards from the mineral site was my closest stand.
Okay. Yeah, and I think in Pennsylvania it's what, 300?
I honestly never looked it up. I just went corner to corner.
I think it's 300.
Yeah.
I think it's 300 and you can't, and they get you in all these stupid rules, and I'm sorry, because every rule has a loophole.
Yeah, you can't be on a trail accessing the I know that's one. You can't be on an active trail heading to the mineral. Like there's a few different ones.
Well, I think the wording in the book states you can't have the intent to hunt over it.
Yeah,
Right? Is that the correct wording? You
as far as I
can't have.
remember.
So that's one thing I see a lot of guys have problems with when it comes to minerals.
Yeah,
A lot of guys. So I think that's good advice for them. If you are using minerals and you don't plan on digging it out of the ground, make sure you stay far, far away
yeah.
from your site.
I used to have to do that in previous years. I used to have to go up, and my buddies used to laugh at me because I'd have to go up with a spade and 2 bags of topsoil and dig out a hole where I had put my mineral on, dig down, 2 feet, remove that dirt in 5-gallon buckets and backfill it with store-bought topsoil just to make sure I wasn't having that issue.
I've seen rumors where people had to take, again, I've not seen, heard rumors where people had to take a backhoe up and actually dig out. I believe in the book it says you have to dig a 6-foot circle.
Yeah, something like that.
Foot by, what is it, 3 foot or something? It's insane. Whatever it is, it's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
it's not, it's the rules, right? It doesn't matter what we say.
Yeah, they want you to make sure you eliminate any possible runoff or saturation.
So I guess the big question when it comes to mineral I'm going to ask you is, and this is going to sound probably stupid, but I mean, at the end of the day, when you're selling a product, people want to know. And that is, what makes your product different than all the others out there?
Oh, I don't, and that answer is going to make a difference depending on who's getting it. But what makes ours different is it's handmade in 300-pound batches. It's all locally sourced through farms and small mom and pop feed stores. Uh, it's got none of the crap in it, like no dyes, no chemicals or anything. It's not mass produced. So that's the big thing for me. And it's priced. I'm not looking to get rich. I'm just looking to put a good product out. So it's, I'm not really making much when I sell my mineral. I'm just covering my overhead and maybe a little bit of gas money. But my main goal is to make sure that deer are there and hunting opportunities are there for future generations. If we start having issues with EHD or any epidemic in the deer run through Pennsylvania, that's just going to destroy hunting, which is already struggling. There's not a lot of youth that want to get into it. There's everywhere you turn. I mean, look at how many times you get banned on Facebook for sharing a hunting video or anything like that. There's just a culture that's against it. And it's something I love. It's something that had a big deal in, as far as I'm concerned, in getting me healthy again and preserving my life. So it's something I'm very passionate about, and it's just that passion goes into my product. So
I think, dude, I think that's a great answer. I mean, I love asking questions because sometimes people, a lot of times people give me an answer and they're giving me the right answer. You know, you can't argue with the right answer.
but I don't, you know what I mean? I've used a lot of other products. I've never seen the results like I'm getting with ours. Uh, and I know from people that I've sold it to that are using it. I have one guy that didn't kill a deer at all last year. He was pretty sure in his words, the Amish guys around his neighborhood shot everything off. And he bought a bag off of me and sent me a picture. He said, I put this out a half an hour ago, and there's 15 deer in the field in front of his hunting shanty. And he has since, in the last 2 months, he's bought 75 pounds of it off of me and is just putting it out. He loves it. I have another kid that wanted to try it out, so I gave him a pound of it. And he come back to me 2 weeks later. He put it out at the beginning of turkey season. And he come back to me this past Monday. He's like, dude, I need 25 pounds of it. I'm like, you like it? He's like, I got 1,200 pictures of deer in 2 weeks.
So I'm going to be honest with you, and I won't name the product. There's one product out there that I have tried, and I am a sole believer in that product. Everybody talks minerals, but as far as I'm concerned, most people sell the same stuff. You
Yeah.
might add a percentage of this and a percentage of that, or do this or that, but at the end of the day, most of them are the same, right? I mean, let's go to windows or doors or whatever you look. They're all the same product. You change lock, you change a piece of glass, right? You change something, but they name something different. So if
Yeah.
your product's different, that's a selling point. That's
Yeah.
that's important, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I wouldn't mind seeing you. I'll buy a pound bag off you. I'd love to compare it to a product I use currently.
Yeah, we can work something out. You have my number.
I would love to see the difference side by side and curiosity, nothing else.
Oh, I'm
Curiosity,
welcome it.
just to
I'm welcome
see what happens. And I would be willing to put a trail camera on each pile. I would be willing to put up start dates and log records. I'm very big on that. I love testing stuff. So
So do I. I'm very big on that. But yeah, I welcome that. I mean, not as a challenge, but to see what your results are and to see how you feel about it. Because
well, mine's pure
yeah,
curiosity. I want you to know that it's not challenge. It's not.
yeah,
It's pure curiosity.
that's what drives it.
Yeah. Well, for me
I
it
mean,
is. For me, it's
that's
curiosity is what killed the cat, though, right?
well, curiosity is where all your great inventions and all your great breakthroughs come from. When some of your bad ones, but I mean, curiosity is what does it. So, and
No,
I'm the
I
same way
agree
with
totally.
testing. I have a shelf full of, I think, 10 different brand new broadheads for this coming archery season to try out. I have one specific brand that I really like that I love, but every year I go to the Wally World clearance. I buy a bunch of different broadheads I've never used just to see how they perform and what they do.
Well,
So,
you see in the top of the screen for us, we're hooked. They're
yeah,
ours. It's hard. Anything 100% American made is hard for me to walk away from.
agreed.
If it performs at an American made standard, right? That's how I
Yeah,
see it.
yeah,
So when I say American made standard, I'm saying tough. It's got to do its job, right? It's got to
yeah.
be interlock broadheads is it for us. I can't say anything. You won't hear me say a bad word at all. And that carnage they make, dude, that thing, yeah, the damage that little broadhead does is something crazy.
Hey, there's Jim. I
Yep,
just
he's
seen him
there.
pop up.
He didn't get on. He probably messaged me, but he didn't get on.
Yeah, I think I may have an interlock in on the shelf. I'd have to go look real quick in my hunting room to make sure, but I'm pretty sure I do have them on her. Mine, since we're saying, I absolutely love the Toxics from Flying Arrow.
Okay, I know what you mean. Yep.
I mean, they're not. I would rather them be reusable. You know what I mean? I wish they wouldn't get damaged like they do, but the blood trail they leave is just insane.
See, I'm for fly straight. If I want to shoot through a hole this big,
Yeah,
these things, these carnage, fly so straight. I mean, I've never seen it. They just, it's like it adds to the twist of the arrow.
Huh.
I mean, it's insane. I love these things.
I'd have to check it out if I don't have one in there.
Yeah, I love it. They make a few. Carnage is my favorite, and then I prefer the Devastation.
Okay.
Devastation, my son uses. What a blood trail that thing left.
Now, see, I shoot year round, so I've never had an issue getting my arrows to fly straight, regardless of broadheads. I have had to tweak them a little bit and line some things up. That in my pastor is my archery guy. He's an archery specialist, so anytime I'm having an issue, I just go right down the block and go, here, fix it.
Well, I like that you brought up your pastor. Chris, can you bring up that bag again? The back of that bag. So I'm going to tell you the favorite part of that bag I've seen. Nope, next one, Chris. I believe it was on the back. It was ingredients, and then it had a Bible verse.
That's up the top.
Right there.
Genesis, yes.
So there it is. So anybody, that's big for me. I think that's big. So there's a hunting knife out there. Do you ever know the hunting knife?
No.
There's a hunting knife out there that every knife you order comes with a Bible verse.
Okay.
And dude, that's huge. I love that. I think the fact that you put something on there is telling the world that you're a believer in Christ is a big deal.
Yeah, it's absolutely a big deal.
I do. I think that's a big deal. Like you have my, dude, you got my respect just by that title on the bag.
I appreciate that.
You know, like that's it. A lot of guys this day and age will not take a moment to say, yo, this man's real. Or I believe, because they're afraid of getting ridiculed or criticized, right? They're afraid of what people think. So kudos to you and your wife for having the, you know, I guess the word would be fortitude to say we are, you know?
Yeah, I appreciate that. And anybody that's a believer knows that fear is the work of the enemy. You should not be afraid to announce that and tell as many people as are possible.
Yeah, I love that. So that was a huge part of your bag for me. I won't lie. When you send me pictures, I don't know why, but that stood out more than all your buck, more than all your stuff. That stood out to me.
Well, that's good. That should be the first thing on everybody's mind.
Yeah, that was huge for me. I was like, oh, I love it. I love it already, you know? And honestly, that alone made me want to just buy a little bit of your product and test it. If you want me to be honest, before our conversation,
Well, that's fine.
you know, that was a selling point for me.
Yeah.
That was me saying, hey, man, if that guy believes in that, that's pretty something special there.
I appreciate that.
But now this product, so we're talking this product. So I don't want to get off the subject completely of this product, but I know we have a 45-minute time frame. And I know you sent me some pictures we want to touch base on as well. So before we get to those other pictures, let's talk about where they can get this product.
If you go to my Facebook page, our phone number's there, our email is there, and then they just got to get a hold of me. And depending on location, it'll either be a hand-to-hand delivery, or I can do shipping. It's just shipping prices with what I charge for my mineral. You're almost paying double for me to ship weight to you. And I do, like if you have a group of guys from a hunting club or a lease that everybody wants some, they all get together and get a good size order together. I will bring it out to them and drop it off and come back. That's really whatever works best, whatever's the most cost effective way for the customer and myself to get it.
Sounds fair to me.
Yeah, like I'm going at, I'm actually setting up with Jim. Me and him are going to meet halfway because he wants some for his store shelves. So we're going to arrange meeting halfway in between him and me because he's about 4 hours away from us.
Well, there you go. There's where I can get my pound. 'Cause Jim and I only work like a building apart. So that would be perfect.
That's awesome.
Jim, you're my shipping cost. So on your minerals, we talked about minerals, and I watched a bunch of pictures come up this year in your stuff and a bunch of videos, right? So I know you harvested a beautiful buck this year.
Yeah, that was pure luck. That was one of those God provides moments. I was actually setting up a 2-man for me and my wife, as my wife doesn't like hang-ons. So I was setting up a 2-man, and I dropped my camera gear and everything down to the ground, and as I stood up from lowering it, he was standing out in front. He just walked out of the pines and was looking at me. And I was like, oh, No, I was like, well, there's my buck for the year. That's the first buck I've shot myself in 10 years. Because I don't hunt buck. I strictly do large doe and property control for, you know what I mean? That's how I keep the properties I hunt. I take buddies out. I take my daughter out, I make sure they get on their deer. Actually, that one I sent you, that chocolate 8 point, that was my target deer that year. And I had to be at work that morning. So I took a buddy of mine out. My deer and his deer were traveling together. So I told him, I said, man, I'd rather you get him than anybody else if I'm not going to get him. So if he comes through first, shoot him. And he came through. I told him he'd be there between 640 and 650. He shot that buck at 643.
Get out.
Like I said, when I say I map my deer out and I know my herd, that's all I do in my free time. If I'm not working around the property or working at my day job, I am putting my effort into our company and into research and property research, and I do trapping and everything else to maintain a balance on the properties.
Now, was he hitting your product? These two buck, were they hitting your products?
The ones with the antlers are, yeah, the velvet from last year, those are all deer on the properties that I have mineral sites on.
Now, how frequent were these guys visiting your hit sites?
Oh, at least every other day.
So you're looking at 48-hour, 24-hour window, something like
Yeah.
that.
Most of them hit daily. But when I got it to where I wanted it, how I have it now, I actually was maxing cameras out and couldn't keep a chronological log of when they were going on because they would max my camera at in 2 weeks, and then I'd go 2 weeks without being able to log when they were there. And I tried going up, pulling the SD card and going through the SD cards, but in all honesty, with a full-time job, a family, and everything else, going through a couple thousand pictures from a dozen different trail cameras just wasn't working out.
I do mine at my lunch break. At my break, man. That's where I go through all mine. So with your mineral, so one thing with minerals is minerals are made to dump on the ground, right? I mean, that's normally what they're made for. You dump at a tree stump, ground, somewhere that
Yeah.
they can keep coming. Have you ever tried dumping your minerals in a feeder? Well, they come out of one of them little feeders.
They will. I have a customer that uses a feeder and he uses a trough. And he swears by it. He loves it. He says it keeps it from getting into the ground. Excuse me. And which I told him, I said they're knocking it on the ground regardless, but he sees it as less loss. It's not getting wet and soaking into the ground, and he likes the fact that it clumps up a little bit and whatnot. But yeah, I
No
have
sticking issues. None?
no, no. Even I had left a batch. I was setting stuff up personal to take up on the property, and I left the bucket open in my garage and forgot about it, and it hardened, and I was like, oh crap, and I turned the bucket upside down on the floor and smacked it on the floor, and it immediately powdered. So
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. A lot of minerals bind a bunch.
yeah, and they get rock hard.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not a terrible thing that deer still come to them and use them.
Yeah,
But, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
yeah, it crumbles anytime it does clump up. You just give it a smack with your hand or anything, and it crumbles. So I really like that. And also, like, I don't like it when it's compact like that because, sodium, phosphorus, those dissolve quicker than anything else. So when, like, guys run these blocks, and we've all seen the blocks, they're pitted and they got the little lines through them. That's because as deer lick them, they're not getting an even amount of all the minerals off of it because certain minerals dissolve faster than other minerals. So it's almost like the moisture is getting into it, and it's not until the moisture dissolves everything that it breaks apart that they can actually start getting to the good stuff. So that's why I don't make a block form. So,
That's a good idea. Honestly, I never would have looked at a block like that. That's not something I would have seen or thought of.
oh, like I said, I've been researching for over 5 years on how the best setups, the best way it comes out, the best absorption rate, everything like that. So I've spent ridiculous hours.
I'll tell you why I asked about a feeder, because I'm looking at a mineral saying if you could find a mineral, again, now this is me thinking out loud, okay? If you could find a mineral, now corn is used as a filler, right?
Yeah.
Corn's not used as anything else. There's no health behind it,
No.
okay? But now you buy minerals, And you always buy minerals, and not being smart, but you usually pay top dollar for minerals because minerals last, right? You don't pay top dollar for minerals because you go buy an $8 bag of corn, it's eaten in 3 days, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so the minerals you buy them and they last for 3 weeks a month, basically. That's the theory behind a mineral. So
Yeah.
they cost a little more. So I'm mentally thinking, what if you could dump minerals inside the feeder with a bag of corn, and use a filler on top of dropping the minerals? I mean, it would last even longer.
Yeah, that's my buddy that uses a feeder. Told me he sometimes mixes it with birdseed.
But really, see, I would have thought of that either.
Yeah, he said he mixes it with birdseed because he has an issue with the coons. Because I mean, you dump 50 pounds of corn on the ground, you're getting more coons than anything.
Absolutely.
So, but he mixes it with bird feed and or bird seed and throws it through his feeder that way.
So yeah, no, look at what you just did. Wouldn't have ever thought of that either.
Oh yeah, I pick their brains when the guys come back to me and they're telling me about they're using it. And I want to know how they're using it, what results they're getting, what atmosphere. I just had a friend send me a picture because I have not seen a single coon in my mineral, and like I said, I have a dozen cameras up.
Really?
Yeah, I have not seen a single coon in it. He sent me a picture the other day, and there was a coon in the mineral, and I'm like, all right. I'm like, what kind of stump is that you have that poured on? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, if you can find out for me, and bump your camera to every 10 seconds. I said, I want to know if it's just a curiosity thing or if they're staying in there, rolling in it and eating it and whatnot. And he got back to me. He's like, it seems like it's just two pictures, like they're just passing through. I'm like, all right, well, the smell caught them. Because, I mean, it does have a sweet smell to it. So as long as they're not in there, nom, 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 I'm fine with that. So, but yeah, it doesn't seem to, coons don't seem to really want to be in it. And I haven't, which is really odd, I haven't had any turkey and I haven't had any bear get into it yet.
Oh, again, it's mineral. So mineral, you don't see a whole lot of that. In my opinion, you don't see a whole lot of that. Once it's in the ground, those things don't want it. I mean, if you get one to pass by on top surface, then maybe.
Yeah.
But minerals are designed to soak in.
Yeah, well, I've seen, I had a bear last year. I had a competitor's product that I put at the base of a tree. And I can take pictures of this tree and show it to you. The whole bottom of the tree's chewed up where the bear went in and I guess smelled the sweetness of it and started licking and chewing at the tree roots.
Well, and again, are they using apple scent? Are they using, because all that has something to do with it. Corn scent, right? Like if you're adding a mixture like that, I could see that being a major issue. You know what I mean? I could see that drawing the bear's attention.
Definitely, I'd have to agree with that. I honestly
persimmons, right? Persimmons, I would think they would eat that.
Yep.
See, I hate digging up. Minerals for me are tough because, who wants to go in and dig out a 6-foot circle?
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, in your case, if you're putting it way out the other end of property, have no intent to hut over it, you're within legal limits.
Yeah.
And I could do that as well, but it fathoms me that I have to go dig a 6-foot circle by 3 foot deep to eliminate anything. Like, who wants to do that? Who wants to drive a backhoe up in their property and dig out 6 buckets? Love you. Sorry, my son stopped up.
Not a problem.
And who wants to dig out 6 buckets or 7 buckets of dirt?
Yeah, well, I just went to rake. I raked a quarter acre of leaves today to put in a food plot, and I didn't want to do that.
Well, I never mind the leaves. I never mind doing that because you plant a food plot is 100% legal.
Yeah.
So if it was me, I'd put a food plot at every tree stand I could.
Yeah.
The problem with me is I have a lot of swamp where I'm hunting. So, and it's either swamp or rocks. I don't get either. I don't get one or the other. I get swamp or rocks.
Yeah.
So it either ain't growing at all or it ain't growing at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing I found to grow real well for me is to throw and grow. Because you go in, just rake leaves away, you throw it on top, you're done.
Yep.
But now, like now in turkey season, which is when you should be planting things like that, now you got to worry because if somebody walks in there and sees you throw and grow down, now there's little seeds all over the ground. Now someone's going to accuse you of baiting.
Yep.
I mean, it's the world is set up to fail.
Yeah. Well, for particular people, yeah.
Yeah, right. And that's people find flaws in everything instead of good in everything, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah, that's part of where our world has gotten to.
And it definitely is not a great thing.
No.
Now, I know you have a buck on your upcoming hit list. Let's talk about him in our last couple minutes there.
Titan.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been after him for 3 years.
Now, Chris, you have a couple photos of Buck here, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you which one it is. You're going to have to ask Justin.
It's top of the field, sun behind him, looking dead at the camera. Big. No, he's looking at you.
I think he's staring. Nope, that's not
Nope.
it. I think he's staring you in the eyes.
Yeah, he's facing the opposite direction too. His body's to the right, his head's to the left.
I think he's looking at you like, Chris, I'm
Oh.
over here. One more. I think it's one more. Yeah,
Yeah, that's him.
that's it, right?
Yeah, and that picture is a year and a half. That's not last season. That's the season before.
And Titan still lives.
Yeah, and he's got to be massive now. I only get him. He's pretty much primarily nocturnal once the season happens. So he's been around for quite a time.
So he knows as soon as he smells human scent, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And he goes into hiding, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, he's one of them deer that you'll see him out in the fields, and he's one that every time I see him, when I pull my phone out, by the time my phone's in my pocket, he's gone like a bullet. He's gone, and it don't matter if I'm 2 hay fields away or walk out of the corner and he's there. The minute he sees me, he's gone. He's just like a shot. And
Sounds like you need some border patrol by Rubline Sense.
that
That's what it
sounds,
sounds like.
I need him to slip up. Is what I need him to do.
Well, that'll help him slip up.
But he always a week or so before season, he goes nocturnal, and that's the last you'll see of him. And he drives me nuts because I will get down out of my stand, I will come home, and I literally my furthest stand is a half mile from my back porch, and I will get home on the quad. My phone will go off, and I always think the same thing. It's my security camera because I just drove in front of the garage. And I'll come in the house and I'll have a picture, and it'll be him walking under the stand I just got out of.
Yeah, he'll slip up sooner or later. They all do.
Hopefully.
They all do, bud. Listen, I've been fighting turkeys here, whole turkey season. First day called 2 in, my dad missed one.
I heard, I've seen that.
Ever since they gobble, I move on them. They gobble again. I move again. I get within 60 yards, and then it's like they just disappear off the face of the earth. I sit for 5, 6, 7 hours. They never show up. I mean, this morning I got to go turkey hunting. I was like, oh, today be a great day. They're calling for rain. It's going to be perfect. I got up at 4:45. I went to go outside, and it was pouring. And I was like, dude, I am not walking 600 yards in the pouring down rain. I ain't doing it. So
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'll go in and sit down and let it calm down. So I went in, sat down. Well, guess what? I fell back asleep sitting on my couch.
Yeah.
My daughter comes in at 6:30 and says, Dad, I thought you were going hunting. I said, I was. She's like, all the turkeys are up by your blind. Dude, I'm telling you, it's just the way it works, man.
Yeah, sometimes it is how it goes.
You know what, though? Truth be told, the memory with my dad is worth more than any beard or fan on a plate. I mean,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
my dad has never had the real turkey experience. I called some in for him already, but never to the point where he felt comfortable shooting or. So it was really, really awesome to be able to have that bird come into 22 yards, gobbling and strutting. I was so focused on my dad, I never zoomed in on the turkey. I was so mad at myself. It was such good footage, but I was like, yeah, well, who cares?
Well, that's how it happens. I mean, that bird I got this year, that was my first bird. And, I mean, he's only a 3-inch beard, young Jake. But I had the big one to the right of my blind. He was coming. And that's why I wish the GoPro, I didn't realize the GoPro was angled like it was. But I had the 2 Jakes in front of me. The big gobbler was coming, and this hawk swooped the Jakes. And they turned to beeline out, and I was like, you know what? First bird, I'll take it. And I rolled him, and I'll tell you what, that hawk, I rolled that Jake, that hawk looped around after I let off of my 12 gauge and came down and went to land on that bird. And I had to come running out of my blind like a maniac screaming at it. But, I mean, I never thought anything would get my blood pumping like a deer coming in does. But I'll tell you what, I heard that thing gobble and head in. I got all excited.
Well, I'll tell you what. I used that chubby buck Thunderbeard, and that sucker, man, that called them right in. They came in from 600 yards away.
Yep.
One fly down cackle, and they answered, and then I just gave a couple quick buck, buck, You know, like they were on the ground starting, and they never shut up from that moment. It was on. I said to my dad, I hope you're ready to kill a bird this morning, because there they come.
Oh, I'm taking them out. I'm taking his calls out with me this week. I take my wife out to try and get her first bird.
Oh, you're going to love the Chubby Buck calls, man. Listen, that guy puts all his heart and soul into what he does.
I see that. I love
Jim
the
is a
bucks.
great dude, man.
Yeah. I can see that just from playing with them in my hunting room and looking at the quality of them. They're beautiful calls. You can tell he puts his heart into it.
I love that guy like a brother. He's a great dude, man. The youth contest we have set up, I'm a little bummed. I think we have only 7 entries in it. And we opened it up to everybody.
Yeah.
We didn't open it up just to PA. We opened it up to everybody.
Yeah.
I think we have 7 entries. So, hey, we're going to take the 7 entries we got,
Yeah.
and we're going to give away a call. And that's just going to be what it is. But
Yeah, it increases their odds. That's how you got to look at it.
a little bummed that we didn't have a lot more volunteers. You know, this guy's willing to give him a custom call and print it for him. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I do think, yep, Chris beeped me. I always look at my phone and watch for the beep. So Chris beat me. We did hit our time limit, so we are at 9:42. If you'd like to join us again, Justin, just get a hold of us. Man, I'd love to talk more. Seems like you love to hunt in Pennsylvania. Something also to think about. Chris and I are looking at. We've talked prior. We'd love to start a hunting fishing podcast network.
Okay.
Where people come to us and we book and schedule their podcasts. And they just pay us a percentage, and all we do is keep the program running.
Yeah.
So that's something cool we'd like to do. So, and then we would like to open that up. So, somebody, Jake Hudson just subscribed to your channel.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
So, I appreciate you joining us. I apologize. Like I always said, 45 minutes. I feel like I hurry everybody, but we got to stay within a window so we can upload to our other stuff.
Not a problem. And in the future, I mean, anytime you need a guest or you want to you have my number. Just get a hold of me. I'd love to do this. This is a blast. I'll talk hunting with anybody.
I love it, man. Let's do that. Let's do more of this. So I'll get a hold of you. We'll do a lot more of this.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Have a great night. God bless. And Chris, you want to roll us out of here?
You too. God bless, brother.